Top 10 teams for the month of August 2024. And I got to give a special shout out to everyone that came out in the May video. It was my most liked video for the entire month. Now we're going to go over not only teams, we're going to go over some characters. Especially, we're going to talk about teams that I think are good in raids, which is probably going to be my top priority going forward in the game. Because if we look at Arena, which has always been the most important game mode for a long time, there's been some leveling out in power cores. And what I'm trying to say is I think it's important to get into the top 20 in Arena. But once you're able to get into the top 20, it looks like the rewards are more stable. And I'm going to say that as a game mode, Raids has moved up a little bit, and then for me, I prefer Cosmic Crucible and then Alliance War. So my favorite team in the game right now is Spider Society, and Spider Society is not only used in Spotlight raids, but also in the Incursion raids. I think Spotlight raids are very strange, and they might be changing, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But I think we're going to be getting some new raid to replace the Incursion, and I suspect that Spider Society is still going to be good. That being said, Spider Society is amazing. Absolutely, in Cosmic Crucible and Alliance War. And just recently, they've been made available in many of the stores. And so technically, they are farmable. Now, sharing my favorite spot was also going to be Extreme X-Men. Specifically, when Extreme X-Men is paired up with Old Man Logan. This is amazing in raids. And it's very good to use this team with Cyclops, but on my baby account, once I got Old Man Logan, I absolutely replaced Cyclops with Old Man Logan and stopped upgrading Cyclops. Now, this is a good raid team, also insanely good inside of Cosmic Crucible and in Alliance War. And then I'm going to say that Old Man Logan is easily a top 5 character in the game. Do not sleep on Old Man Logan and try to get him the next time a legendary comes around. Now, we're going to talk about the new characters coming to the game and the recent changes that were made to the stats in the game, which of course means we're going to have to talk about the Annihilators. So the Annihilators, only 2 are shown here on the team. We've got Ultimus and here Gladiator. Silver Surfer is also an Annihilator, but I'm not sure there's going to be a lot of use for Silver Surfer. I'm just not sure. For sure, Gladiator is going to be impressive. He is impressive right now as a pre-taunting tank. Gore is going to be amazing because he's got anti-revive, anti-charge, anti-assist in Arena, and then also he's got an anti-battlefield effect. I think Gore is probably going to be a good character in multiple game modes, but he's not going to be dependent on stats. He's mostly a kit-based character where Gladiator here is a pre-taunting tank, going to need the stats, and then in-game Thanos is just going to be absolutely bonkers. Having the ability to remove Safeguard is going to be an important mechanic for sure. So I'm just starting to say is that going forward, the Annihilators team is going to be very good. If I was starting a new account today, I would be focused on them. And that is partially true of the stat increase. And it's because of the increase to stats that came after Ares. Now, do I feel the same way about Ares? Got them shown here, but I have mixed feelings about Ares, and I'll try to keep it quick. But I'm not sure if Ares is a dud outside of War or if he's going to play out like Quicksilver did. When Quicksilver came to the game, a lot of people are saying he's not that good, he's kind of bad, blah, blah, blah. Once we got stars, yellow and red stars on Quicksilver, he was amazing. And I suspect that might be true as well on Ares. But for right now today, you can see here I've got a 3 yellow, 2 red. He seems only to be good inside of Alliance War. I don't think he's going to be good in Arena. We will see if Ares is good in Crucible once he gets more stars. We will see. Mephisto, best character in the game. Don't need to talk anymore about that. Kang is still proving to be useful not only in Cosmic Crucible, but also whenever we need a situation to get some turn meter on offense. Now, we're going to talk about Hive Mind, which is another raid team that is very good, and I think they're going to be good for a little while now. I'm a big fan of Void Knight. Just huge plug and play character. It's amazing to bring all the characters together and then ability block, and he gets extra focus on that attack. Venom is probably the first one to be replaced on this team for sure. I'm seeing a lot of use for Carnage and Red Goblin, and it's just a great raid team. Not as excited about this team as I am about Spider Society or Extreme, but Hive Mind is very good, and we're seeing a lot of situations, not only in Alliance War and Cosmic Crucible, where they're useful, especially when they're paired up with a character like Super Scroll. Next, we have to talk about the Sinister/Superior 6 team. You know, there's some of the core members right here, which is Green Goblin, Doc Ock, Vulture, Mysterio, and Kraven. There are a ton of other members which can be made up into 2 individual teams for Alliance War. I love that. It's like probably my favorite thing. Now, they're not useful inside of raids. This, of course, right here is very, very useful inside of Cosmic Crucible. Lizard's amazing, and so on and so on. And I love the fact that you can split them into 2 teams and use them inside of Alliance War. Now we're going to talk about 2 individual characters, Apocalypse and Super Scroll. Just want to say, Mephisto, best character in the game. Huge fan of Old Man Logan, Apocalypse, and Super Scroll as being, you know, the superstars of the game. Going forward, the way that I see the arena being played out is going to be the 3 new Annihilators, which is going to be Gore, Endgame Thanos, and Gladiator, paired up with Apocalypse and, let's say, Mephisto. If you don't have Mephisto, probably going to be Super Scroll, and so on and so on. But that is going to be the arena team. I don't see Old Man Logan being useful in arena after Gore comes to the game, because Gore shuts down assists inside of arena, and that is kind of what Old Man Logan does. Now, I want to talk about Cabal. No brainer. Cabal is one of the best teams easily inside of Crucible, and I'm getting good use of them inside of Alliance War. I did take them into Dark Dimension 7. I got to tell you right now, Global Dark Dimension 7 is by far the hardest part of any of the legs, and there's not a lot of great characters or teams to go through that part of Dark Dimension 7. And I know some people did Extreme, and some people said they had an easier time using that, but I'm hopeful that they will be coming out with a new team or new characters in the future that will salvage that part of Dark Dimension 7, because it is very tedious. Kind of reminds me of Dark Dimension 3. Well, it's not that bad. When Dark Dimension 3 came to the game, it was absolutely terrible. All right, let's talk about Secret Defenders, and then we'll give a special shout out to Black Knight, which is a great plug-and-play pre-taunting tank. There's a lot of counters being introduced to the game that are going to shut down Black Knight. Still, on his own, as a plug-and-play character, he's very good. Had to put him on the list. But I do want to give, recognition to Secret Defenders. Even though this initially was an arena team, there's definitely amazing individual use. Let's say in Dark Dimension 7 with Robbie. Ms. Marvel Hard Light kind of has like a soft counter to an Apocalypse, the way her kit works. And we have Black Cat, which is proving to be an amazing plug-and-play character because of her stealing revives on spawn, plus she's got stun, plus trauma. It's an amazing team, getting tons of use on Secret Defenders, not only in Alliance War, but also in Cosmic Crucible. And any kind of team that is viable in those 2 game modes is worth calling attention to them for sure. Next, we're going to talk about some individual characters that are kind of We're going to talk about some teams that are good in certain game modes. And then we're going to talk about 2 teams that I think you should probably avoid right now, because I think they're going to become obsolete here in the intermediate future. So, Undying, which is Hela, Zombie Juggernaut, and Zombie Iron Man, is amazing inside of Alliance War, top tier team. Also, we're coming up on October, and there has been a tradition for the last 2 years with Zombie Iron Man and then Zombie Juggernaut, where they released a character to make the team better, and they did that around the Halloween time. And I'm curious to see if they do that this year with an Undying team. Dormammu and Doom have seen better days, but they are still very good characters. Dormammu's claim to fame is Revive, and that just happens to work amazing with this Undying team, because if your Zombie Juggernaut survives inside of Alliance War, probably going to win the match. Doom has been situationally good. His ultimate, giving turn meter to the highest damage character, has proved over and over to be very good if you can get it off. I mean, he's just super situational, highly inconsistent. Now, Alpha Flight is kind of on that suspect list, but I wanted to put them on here because Spider Society and Alpha Flight are needed to get through the spotlight raids. There is good use for this team on defense inside of Alliance War. Typically, one of the members is coming off the team and being replaced by Black Knight or Super Skrull, which makes them super annoying. I do want to point out that if you're using the full Alpha Flight on defense, they can be easily countered by a 4-piece out of time. You know, the out of time members without Black Knight, and then Black Knight can go on to another team because Black Knight is a top 10 character for sure. I also wanted to point out that the 3 new members are getting lots of use in Cosmic Crucible as plug and play characters, an amazing pre-taunting tank, probably Gladiator's a tad better than Sassy Pants, Sasquatch, however you say his name. Then we've got Guardian right here, which gives offense up. A lot of people are using that with New Warriors. And then North Star has an anti-revive mechanic on his AoE ultimate, which is amazing. Now, lastly, we're going to talk about 2 teams I think you should avoid, and that would be Pegasus and Bifrost. Bifrost is doo-doo. It's terrible. If you can avoid upgrading Bifrost, do so by all means. I think we're getting a new raid, and we're going to be getting a replacement to these 2 teams. Vol has limited use. There's a case to be made that with in-game Thanos coming to the game, there's going to be a new exposed team because in-game Thanos has some wonderful exposed mechanics that may synergize with Vol. I did get good use with Vol inside of Dark Dimension 7, but I'm not really even using Vol anymore inside of Cosmic Crucible. Then we have Pegasus. Pegasus used to be excellent in Crucible, excellent inside of Alliance War, but I'm finding their usefulness to coming down quite a bit. And outside of Kestrel, I'm not going to be dumping a bunch of resources in this team. In particular, if I had a new account where you have limited amount of resources, limited amount of training materials, limited amount of T4s, this is not the team I would be putting them. I think we're going to get a new replacement for this tech team and a new replacement for this Mystic team for raids. And so that will come out in the future. Who do you think I left off? Any teams you think that it should have got an honorable mention or should have made the list? Let me know in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching. Keep on gaming. Bye for now.